I assume Thad will be joining us momentarily. I just spoke to him.
Good morning, everyone. Bar Talk on April 17th, and we wanted to get right to it, talking about what's been happening. Yesterday, for those that have missed it, Justice Meade made maybe a foreshadow about what was going to come from the governor's office, and we now have Executive Order 40, which for those of you that haven't had a chance to look at it, it deals with renters and landlords, and it has put a moratorium on executing writs of possession, except, and this is the thing I thought you'd be interested in knowing, if the writ of possession or the FED determination was based on 6 different things, which is posing a risk to imminent risk of harm or threatening or assaulting behavior, imminent risk of harm to property of the landlord, violating health or sanitation, engaging in illegal or prohibited trade or activity on the property, a significant nuisance, or caused substantial unrepaired damage to the premises. The landlord can submit a request, I guess a motion of some sort, in writing to the court, and am I still on, Angela? All right, my computer just moved here, and to see about getting a court's permission to continue with a writ of possession, and then that would be something that you could still use to get a tenant out. There are other things in that order too, related to extending some of the statutory deadlines of notice and non-payment of rent for reasons of eviction, as well as some monies to help tenants pay landlords that are paid directly to landlords, and also I think the governor indicated she issued letters to lenders that they should think twice, I guess, about starting a foreclosure action or sending notices to cure. Also, and if anyone has any thoughts on that or updates to share, please throw them into chat, and maybe we can even share them today. We also received what Washington County Probate Court issued as an order. We uploaded that to the website. It looks like it was issued on the 16th of March. It relates to doing hearings if necessary via telephone, and it also relates, like some of the other orders, to the statutory requirements of personal visits by guardian ad litems or visitors, and how to achieve that without a personal visit. So with that, we do have a guest today. Like last Friday, we had Aria E. From the Board of Overseers. And Aria, what do you have to share with us today?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, thanks, Thad. I want to, I did see Justice Alexander in the participant list. So good morning, Judge. Thanks for joining us. And I'm gonna try to keep collaborating with you on some of these other items, especially when we launch the Ethics Jeopardy version. So hopefully next Friday, I'll get an Ethics Jeopardy question up there for the Bar Talk. On the news of CLE, I just want to reiterate, since we didn't have a lot of folks last week, that the board has extended the attaining of hours and reporting of 2019 CLE to December 31st. Y'all may remember that it was originally extended to May 1st, but because of the pandemic and the issues and difficulties that some lawyers are encountering, the board has once again extended it now to 12/31. What that means is, of course, you'll have to have 2 hours of ethics and professionalism and 2 hours of the avoiding harassment and discrimination. But as y'all know, the court has suspended for now, and with its most recent pandemic order, until further order of the court, the in-person attendance requirement for the H&D credit. So just so everyone knows that, I want to take just a couple minutes here, make sure I'm in my time, to remind lawyers now's a great time to shore up your practice. So check in with your proxy. When you register every year, you have to name a proxy. Please ensure that that person is still willing to serve and that she's not retired or she hasn't gone to general counsel somewhere. Check in with that person. Change your passwords, particularly now with all the cybersecurity issues that are floating out during the pandemic. Really do an overhaul of your office management and what you're using for passwords. Update your office manuals if you have them. If you don't have them, think about starting an operations manual so that if your proxy, heaven forbid, had to come in and take over for you, either in good times or in more difficult times, that she or he could do so. Review your existing fee agreements. Make certain that the rules that you cite are accurate, that they're not the old. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, how many fee agreements I see that cite to the old bar rules, not even the professional conduct rules. And in particular, if you are a practitioner that uses non-refundable flat fee agreements, be sure to track Rule 1.5. There are specific conditions that you must follow before having a client agree to that. So I really want y'all to be familiar with that. And now's a great time for those of you who are seeing a break in your practice, and I'm hearing from a lot of litigators that they're enjoying the break. Take care of your business side of things. Let's see. The other thing on the practice management is to scan old files, make a destruction plan, and figure out what you're going to do if you're running into or bumping into storage issues. On the lighter side, be sure to try to get on the invite list for Stan Tupper's Barrister's Breakfast. That list is growing. It's a great way to network. And while you're thinking about networking, certainly consider mentoring an upcoming law graduate or a newer lawyer. You heard in our first bar talk that some lawyers are getting furloughed or terminated. Reach out to those folks if you know them and see what you can do to help them continue their business or just brighten their day. The law students in particular, the graduating law students, have just gotten the news that they're not going to be able to sit for the bar exam, and I think they could use a little extra support right now. So I'd like to end with just make a point to reach out to somebody, take care of yourself. We can go over the airport codes again next week, Thad. I think you wanted me to address those, and from living room to master bedroom and to the refrigerator, the all important refrigerator. And don't forget to hit us up on the ethics helpline. Thanks. Back to you.
Aria, thank you. I kind of want to put you on the spot on something. Have you been
Alrighty.
have you been talking to the judicial branch about how to swear applicants in that want to join our bar from a different jurisdiction?
I've not had that conversation. I know that the numbers for 2019, for instance, there were a lot of lawyers waving in. In fact, there were more admittees in that fashion than there were recent graduate admittees. So we have a fair amount of lawyers coming from other jurisdictions routinely coming in under motion, but I have not, in this current environment, had any discussions. I know that on the law school side that the 3L class has believe they've sent a letter to the court. I know that they've gotten together and petitioned to be able to join someone's practice. Let's say for you, Thad, if a 3L who can't sit for the bar would serve as essentially an apprentice. And I know Justice Alexander in years past and I have talked about that our current bar rules allow for that to still occur. And I think that's what a lot of law students who are coming to graduate will be seeking to do. And I don't know if the court will act on that or the bar examiners will have a position on it. That's as much as I know. Nothing about out-of-state practitioners that I've been approached about.
Now, Aria, do you happen to know like how many applicants you have in queue that are just waiting to be sworn in?
I don't. The bar examiners would have a better idea of that. Melissa is their executive director. I
Okay.
know that every month they have an admissions, so I could find that out, Thad, for next week's Bar Talk.
Great. Yeah, and I'm talking about people that are all qualified except
Right.
for being sworn in. Yeah.
Right.
All right, thank you. And I just wanted to piggyback a little bit on what you had talked about, Aria. I wanted to make sure I understood too. The flat fee agreements are addressed in Rule 4.5. Is that what you said?
No, the non-refundable, well, there's two kinds. There's a non-refundable flat fee agreement. That's the one I referenced, and that's in Rule 1.5 of the Rules of Professional Conduct.
1.5.
Yeah, there's 3 requirements in that rule, and they're very specific. And so long as lawyers are tracking those requirements in that rule, you're good, and you are not fighting a rebuttable presumption if you get petitioned for free arbitration. But I'm going to say easily 85% of the ones that I see when lawyers are aggrieved or when people are calling or when lawyers are sending them to us to review aren't tracking the rule. And the rule's a roadmap, so please use it.
Thank you, Aria. And to piggyback on what you said, I think I heard that Stan and a few of his group attorneys that meet on Friday mornings have put together a mindfulness class or training of some sort. And I'm a fan of that, and I hope that Stan and his group continue. Thanks again, Aria. Angela, did you have some points on the business side of things?
One of the discussions that we had yesterday with when the chief was on the phone was service by the sheriff's office. And so we Jennifer Krekel, thank you, reached out and got the following information, if I can make this work here.
You put on slide 2 here, yep. Good.
Yep. She contacted Harry McKinney of Kennebec County, and he had conducted a survey of all of the counties. He reached out around April 8th, I want to say, and this is the information he received. This will be posted to our Bar Talk website if you want to give it a closer look, but you can see what we know at this time.
And just to confirm, this is a non-attribution slide, okay?
Yes.
We are relying on just what we had received yesterday.
Correct.
I'm gonna piggyback on this a little. I had to do some calls yesterday myself. I confirmed Oxford is not serving on the civil side, and just what it says there, and that Cumberland County is still serving. You'll see they aren't on this list. Cumberland County still serving civil process. So we're appreciative to what Cumberland County's doing.
Jill Kramer just chatted that York County had told her 2 weeks ago that they were still serving FED notices and some family matters. That was 2 weeks ago. I don't know if that has changed since. Thank you, Jill.
And did we have something more?
Unmute again here. As you can see, just a reminder, no Bar Talk on Monday. And then we have some guests coming up next week. David Austin's going to give us a managing partner perspective on the 22nd. We've Bill and Aria will be joining us on their normal days, Tuesday and Friday respectively, and we've got probate judge Libby Mitchell on Thursday. And she can answer your questions about probate court. She's specifically knowledgeable in guardianship, so if you have any questions that you want to send to me ahead of time, that would be terrific, that I can give to her so she can prepare accordingly.
Thanks, Angela. I just wanted to add again on communication. It's just such a great time to show value to clients by keeping in touch with them, because they're anxious during these times, and keeping in touch with your staff and keeping them all up to date. On the personal side of things, I wanted to address what I wanted to talk about yesterday, which was essentially regarding my thankfulness on the gratitude journal. I'm thankful for the good health that I've been blessed with in this process, as well as my office staff has been blessed with in this process. And as that relates to a focus on tempo, there's one thing that we're all probably realizing, is that it is a little bit slower working in this environment for whatever reason it is. Whether it's, scanning, copying, mailing, emailing, connectivity issues. So one of the things I found personally is I'm exhausted when I get home at 6:15, 6:30 in the evening, and where I never used to be. So it's important to start and end and have time for yourself. We've touched on this before. Just be good to yourself.
I totally agree, Thad. I totally agree.
Thanks, Aria. And Angela, you were going to say?
I just wanted to, I'm happy to report that we, based on yesterday and realizing we only had 100, we had the Zoom version that only allowed 100 to join us. We have since upgraded that, and we can have up to 500 of you join us now. If we're over that, it's, I guess, a really good problem to have. So I just wanted to let everybody know, if you know somebody who's been wanting to join and maybe couldn't, we should be fine now.
Thanks, Angela. And we're over time, so please, we have had some members that have been really good at providing us information to share, and please continue to do so. We will share it. We're off on Monday. I hope everyone can take some time on Patriots Day, and we're back on Tuesday, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.